Hey, hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Susan, and I'm enjoying this setup actually. This is my first time filming really in front of my shelves. So, if you didn't know, here they are. Today, I'm actually going to be bringing you guys my top 5 recommended reads for this fall. Now, a few of these are popular. Most of these have probably already been read, but these are actually the 5 books I have read within the past couple years for the first time that made me really think of fall and just fall vibes and back to school and different ways you can kind of get lost throughout your semester of school. Well, if you didn't know, my semester started today, so I might be rereading some of these soon, except for maybe one, because one I did already reread for the first time this year. So anyways, let's jump right on into it. The first book I have to talk about today with you guys is actually going to be one that I'm sure most people have read and know the summary for already. But if you haven't read it yet, maybe now's the perfect time, or the perfect time for that reread you've been planning. And that first one is going to be the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. Now, if you don't know what Harry Potter is about, we follow this boy named Harry Potter who kind of has had like the worst luck of his life. He does not have any parents. He thinks his parents died in a car crash. But then one day, a big giant named Hagrid comes and whisks him off to Hogwarts, a wizardry school. So yeah, that's actually about all I'm gonna say, because Harry Potter is a 7-book series and I'm sure most people know what it is about. Next book is actually one I'm planning a reread of soon because the sequel is coming out, but it does actually also relate to Harry Potter, and that is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I suck at her last name, so sorry, but Carry On is actually a story following Simon Snow, who is the worst chosen one ever. And he actually shares a room with a vampire. In the beginning of Carry On, I did struggle because it does relate a lot to Harry Potter. So that's actually the only issue I really had with this, was I was able to tell the Harry Potter connection, especially with how it read as, I think, Drarry is the ship. Draco and Harry fanfiction, it felt like. But I did actually really enjoy what I read. I think this is like a 4-star read for me, and I'm really excited for the sequel, Wayward Son, to come out later this year. The next book on my list is one I read for the first time actually during one of my own fall semesters a couple years ago, and I'm actually rereading the series right now. I'm listening to the audiobooks though, because I do want to get into the spin-off series, and that is Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. In Vampire Academy, we follow Rose Hathaway, who is a guardian. We follow her with her best friend Lissa, who is a vampire, or a Moroi. The Guardians, if you don't know, are half Moroi, half human. They're like a race known as Dampiers. In Vampire Academy, which I know is a very beloved series here on BookTube, you follow these like teen girls like through like the trouble of life and like trying to settle into like the roles that they're given, but not wanting to settle into the roles that they're given. Like you learn about different like classes and different like races and within like the vampires and the Dampiers, and like just like the breakdown between like the royals and non-royals. And that's actually one of the things I loved most about it, is the complexity of the world. Now the next one is going to be a very, very much talked about series here on BookTube. Maybe not so much anymore now that like time has gone on, but that is actually going to be the Hunger Games series by Suzanne Collins. And unpopular opinion, I really love these covers. I don't think that they fit the story itself, but to me these are just so eye-catching, and if I saw these over the original covers, I would probably pick these up first. But either way, if you don't know what the Hunger Games is about, the Hunger Games, you follow Katniss Everdeen, who volunteers to save her sister from basically dying. She does not plan to win. From what I remember, she does not plan to win. She doesn't want to win, or she does want to win. I don't remember. I have actually not read this in a while or watched the movies, but I am due for a reread of this series, and I would love to reread this series because in the end, getting to Mockingjay, it broke my heart. I remember sitting there just kind of going like, what is happening? What is happening to my babies? I love these characters, and they're just... But yeah, that is one I do recommend diving into, because it may not be based around school like some of these other options. Actually, like all of the other options I have given today for the recommendations, but this one is a good escape. The next one I recommend is actually a thriller and is one of the only 2 thrillers on this list. And that is going to be One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. Now, I read this for my first mystery thriller ever, really. I didn't read much mystery thriller when I first picked it up. So it was actually for me a really good introduction to the genre. But it also just kept me hooked. I think like I do want to give a warning on this one for like suicide, like a trigger warning, because this does have some weird representation for suicide. But that was it. I actually struggled to solve the mystery, and I was guessing up until the very end. I know this book has a sequel coming out in January of next year, so I think it's January 7th coming out, called One of Us is Next, and I am highly anticipating it, and I would love to give this a reread before then. So who knows? I just might, because I do think this would be a good fall read. And the last one is actually one I just finished reading a couple weeks ago, but I highly recommend it, and I wish more people have read it, or at least more people in my friend group have read it, because I want to just talk about it with everybody. And that is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. Now, in Truly Devious, we follow 2 separate timelines. In the timeline of the past, we follow the story of the Ellingham mystery, which is basically Albert Ellingham, I believe his name is. He builds a school, and then inside that school, in one of the first years of it being open, like his wife goes missing, his daughter goes missing, and a student of the school goes missing. Everybody is questioned, and you follow that timeline of everybody being questioned, and you follow the timeline of like what happened and trying to see what happened as it's happening. However, in the present timeline, you follow Stevie Bell, and Stevie Bell has just been accepted into Ellingham Academy years after, and as she's going through that, she's getting wrapped up in her own mystery while trying to solve the mystery of the past and how it is tied to what is currently happening at the school. Now, what I loved about Truly Devious was the fact that I couldn't predict anything. Every time I thought like something was going to happen, or like where the mystery was going to go, I couldn't figure it out. I would say, oh, this is going to happen. I know this is going to happen. This is like what's making sense in my head. But then Maureen Johnson just kind of did a loop-de-loop around, and then she's like, no, this is what's happening. Here's what's happening right now. But is that the case? Who knows? Anyways, guys, that was actually all the books I brought with me today to recommend. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, I recommend you click like, comment, and subscribe down below. And I will see you soon in the next video. Bye!